Hello and welcome to What's New in Microsoft 365 and Teams for the 29th of January to the 15th of February 2022. I'm Mark Thompson from Super Simple 365 and I'm going to be taking you through some updates for Forms, Lists, OneDrive, Project, SharePoint, Teams, and then we use just a topic of around Microsoft 365 just as a catch-all for other topics. So let's look at those icons at the bottom. We have the tick, the alarm clock, the piece of chocolate with the bite out of it, and the telescope. So that's just to signify things which have already gone live. So the tick, the snooze clock is for things which are late. The bite out of something is for bite-sized, and the telescope is just looking a little bit further out, labelled wants to watch. So just to give you an idea of what we're looking at. As always, folks, please click the thumbs up if you're looking at this on YouTube and subscribe if you want to get notified next month. So let's start off with Microsoft Forms. This first one, Forms Distribution and Email Notification feature. So for those of you who use Forms, you'll know that it's nice and easy to share a form and to get it out. But to get it to individual people only, or to groups of people, is a little bit clunky. So this new option here, it gives you the ability to share a form or survey directly with individual users and distribution lists. So you can see on the screen here, so if I just highlight this for you, you can see that, in fact, let's just zoom in and have a closer look. This icon here, this is the new one. Okay, so if you look now, you'll see that you've got the first, the third, the fourth, and the fifth, but that one I'm highlighting is new. So when you click on that, you can then choose your name or your group, and it will send it straight to them. Now, the automation will send reminders to people who haven't filled it in yet, but you'll also get updates and will tell you that some people have responded to your notification, to your survey. Let's zoom in again on here, so you can see here that the Forms Notification Center is telling you that there's an update, but also you can see here that you've got 5 responses in one day, and you can see that you have the option of sending a reminder to those 15 people who have not yet responded. Okay, so really like the look of this. This is due mid-March to mid-April. When I shared this on Twitter, it got quite a few thumbs up and retweets. I think a lot of people are going to like this one, so look out for that, folks. Due mid-March into mid-April. Next up, we've got Microsoft Lists. Just a couple of quick things for this. The ability to create and manage Power Apps from within lists, inside Microsoft Teams. That is due March. If that's caught your eye, then hop over to the blog. I'll make sure that I put a copy of that in the notes, and then go and read a little bit more about that. But that's a little bit further out. That's due in March. This has been delayed. The new 365 list entry point. So this feels like it's been kicking around for a while. I told you that it was coming, then I told you it wasn't, then I told you last time that it was coming, and now it's been delayed, so I'm not really sure why this is having such a hard time coming to life, but it's now due. This appearance of the lists icon in the top left hand corner on that newish bar in SharePoint, that's not now due until mid to late March. I don't know why that's having such a hard time, but I think it'll be quite good when it comes out, but look out for that, folks, and that is due at the end of March. Oh, we've got one more delayed. This is the custom list templates. I've talked about this a couple of times. This has been pushed back and it's now due mid-March to mid-April. Again, folks, if any of those catch your eye, have a look at the blog. And next up, we have OneDrive. So let's see what we've got here. So the ability to easily navigate all of your Teams files from OneDrive. So this has been labelled one to watch. You can see the little icon next to it because it's shown up on the 365 roadmap, but I don't have a lot more information for you. So we've got some basic details, but not a whole lot, not a lot. Now, when we get nearer the time, I'll probably tell you a little bit more about that. But for now, it's one to look out for. Due April, almost certainly will be later than that. Also, activity column in my file. So this will tell you this will be a new column in my files in OneDrive, but it's going to show you that when there's been activity on your files that you haven't seen yet, it's going to flag that up to you, and you can go and have a look at that. Okay, so we've also got this delayed option here, the Microsoft OneDrive and SharePoint library drop-down. Let me just zoom in on this. So I've seen on Twitter that some people have seen this, and I'm not sure whether they're just getting easier early access to it. But you can see here that you've got the new default option for the document library you go to, but you're going to get this new option here. You can see where I'm highlighting, and that just gives you a drop down for you to easily navigate around. Look out for that mid-February to early March, although some people are saying they're already seeing it. Next up, we've got SharePoint. So let's have a look at what we've got here. So this has already gone live. This is the Microsoft Editor spell check and grammar in SharePoint pages. So it's just that when you get this this option that comes up to let you check your spelling and your grammar, you can see here that it's coming from Microsoft Editor and all the settings that you've already got set up for that. Delayed is the people-centric search on Microsoft SharePoint and Office.com. So this is just where you do a search, and then you can focus on the results from people, and you can just focus on what they've been up to in their activity, and you can just do search based on people, on your colleagues. Look out for that, folks. That's now due early to late March. If you're interested in that, as always, hop over to the notes and have a look at all those details. Now let's have a look at some Microsoft Teams updates. The first one is the chat density compact setting, and this gives you the ability to customize the amount of messages that you see on your screen. Let us just quickly zoom into this, and you can see that on the general here you're going to get this new option, chat density. So what you see at the moment would be classified as comfy in after this change, and this option here, compact, is the new option. So you're going to see an additional 50% more messages on screen. If we zoom into this as well, you can see here a couple of things. You don't have the white boxes around the text. Also, previously you'd have the name and you'd have the timestamp, and below there you would see the message. But you can see here, look at this message from Marie. Her message starts right at the top, and there isn't that timestamp and there isn't that white box around it. So it's a much better use of space. There's no impact on the channel experience, it's just for chat at the moment. And this is due mid to late February this year, and initially just on the desktop version of Teams. Now let's have some quick updates for Microsoft Teams. This first one is a delay to the expanded reactions in Teams. So you know that you can respond quickly to somebody's message by clicking on the three little dots, the ellipsis next to their message, and you can give a thumbs up, a heart, a smiley face, etc. And you're going to soon get the option to click on this plus sign, and then you can choose one of over 800 reactions. This has been pushed back a couple of times and has now been pushed back quite a long way to the middle of May, maybe early June. I'll update you again near the time, but that is quite a large pushback, isn't it? Now, next up, we have an update to the Teams meetings recording auto expiration feature in SharePoint and OneDrive. Now, let's talk about what this means. If you have a regular meeting and you record it, it will get saved to your OneDrive, the person clicking record. If it's a channel meeting, then it gets recorded to the files area, so SharePoint that relates to that channel where that meeting is. Microsoft have worked out that after a period of 60 days, almost nobody looks at those videos again. But they've looked at it again, and 60 was going to be the default, when actually there's another drop-off after 120 days. So that is going to become the new default expiration period. So they will automatically expire or delete after that period of time. So if it is your video, you will get the option you can see on the screen here to change that date. So if you want to, you can postpone it and push it back. So if it's your video, if your video is up for a deletion, don't worry, you can override it. Now, depending on the settings for your organization, this might not come in at all. They might set a shorter period. They might override it, so you can have 99,999 days, which is like 250 years or something. So there's quite a long period there. So the default will be 120, but you have to look at your organization and see what you will get. No doubt they will announce this to you. But look out for the final stages of that, and that going live in late March 2022. Okay, so this next one here is the chat filter for non-meeting chats. Now this is one to watch, so I don't have a lot of detail, but you're going to soon get the option to filter your chats, so it's to separate your chats from meetings versus your regular normal chats. And if you go to a lot of meetings, that might cut out quite a bit of noise for you actually. Look out for that, folks, due March this year, and I'll tell you more about that nearer the time. Next up, we have LinkedIn coming to Teams. That's due in March. So I will tell you more about this nearer the time, but you're going to get this new tab and you can hook up LinkedIn for yourself with Teams. And it just means that when you're chatting to somebody, you can quickly click on their profile in LinkedIn and just learn a little bit about them. So honestly, I'm not really sure what I think about it, but I'll maybe look at it near the time. I don't know if there's a real problem that it's solving, but maybe it'll be great. So near the time, I'll tell you a little bit more about it. I'll give a full rundown of that, but that's due in March. Delayed is the Teams and SharePoint connected templates. I'll confirm the date next time we do a session, but if you're waiting for that connection between Teams and SharePoint, that's been pushed back a little bit. If that's of interest to you, hop over to the blog and you can read a little bit more. Live captions in all available languages, and cart captions are coming to the web version of Teams. So the web version of Teams kind of lags behind the regular version, the desktop version, and quite a few things. Now I know that some organizations are still using the web version for whatever reason. They still are, and I know that they are. Now the captions, the live captions are coming in mid-February, and the cart captions, if you use those, is coming in mid-April. Okay, let's have a look around Microsoft 365 a little bit. If you're a project user, we don't talk about project very much, do we? Labels on tasks. So you can get up to 25 different colored labels that you can use in project to better organize and visualize what you're working on. So if you're a Planner user, then that will seem familiar to you, because that came to Planner quite a few months ago. Anyway, folks, that's due February this year. Also, the ability to add guests to your project for the web, that is, ability to add guests so they can view project information. That again is due in February. Microsoft Edge. So this is one that your organization will probably have to set up for you. There's a policy that they can set that allows you to choose a default profile instead of it using the profile that you had last time you used it. It will go back to your default. You can so every time you start Edge, it starts on your home profile or your default profile, however you want to phrase it. Anyway, look out for that, folks. March this year, but will probably be dependent on your organization. What else do we have? Outlook for Windows. Now, we've talked about this a couple of times. So think about when you open Outlook. This is for the full version of the software on your machine, by the way. When you open it, in the bottom left-hand corner, that's where you see the tabs for going through email, calendar, tasks, people, etc. Anyway, that's moving to the top left-hand corner. So off the bottom, up to the top left-hand corner, maybe where your eye is, and it's probably a better place for it to go, really. So look out for that, folks, and that should have rolled out by April. You might see it a little bit earlier. Microsoft Stream, just getting the ability to have help built into the stream. This is Stream version that when you're looking at videos in OneDrive and SharePoint. So this help experience means that you can access help documentation and report any issues that you have with playback. Quite a big change coming here. Do you use VBA macros in your files, or do you have them from the internet? If this is something that you use, you're going to see this change. So it's going to block them by default. Well, actually, yes, sure, it does anyway. But actually, the message is going to change, and it's going to try to get you to go off to a web page and have a look at some education about why you shouldn't be using it. Although you can still go ahead and use those files if you want to, but it's going to maybe educate us all a little bit more as to why VBA macros are so dangerous from a security for your organization point of view. Anyway, look out for that. The banner's going to change, and it's just going to try to push you towards some more information. Okay, Would you like me to cover any topics in videos? Is there anything about Microsoft Teams, for example, that you'd like me to cover off? Maybe, I don't know, a deep dive into setting up meetings, a detailed explanation of channels. Just if there's something about Teams or anything else in Microsoft 365 that you'd like me to spend maybe 10 minutes on a video just diving into, or maybe I'll do a supporting page with some notes, let me know. Let me know in the comments, and I'll have a look at doing that for you. Okay, folks, that brings us pretty much to the end. If you want to, you can sign up on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, LinkedIn, the podcast, the blog. If you want to, you can get the newsletter delivered to you. Go to the blog and sign up. So just do a search for Super Simple 365 on any of those platforms. Folks, that's it for another couple of weeks. I will see you soon. Thank you for watching.